As a novelist, you seek conflict, don't you? That's what you want, conflict and tragedy and drama. And for me, particularly, those conflicts and the lessons from conflict are easier to find in tragic stories. For reasons which I can't explain, I am drawn to those darker stories. This is not because I've had a terrible life. I haven't. But from early childhood, I've been fascinated by dark stories, by fairy tales, by ghost stories. And I think it's actually quite a natural thing. I think it's why we all enjoy crime so much and why we watch horror movies. We like to be frightened and we like to think about the most extreme things that might happen. I started writing Into the Water immediately after finishing writing The Girl on the Train. So I actually started writing it before The Girl on the Train had become a big success. And I think that was very helpful to me because it meant that I had the story and I had the characters in my head before the whole Girl on the Train thing went crazy. So I already had the core of my story to focus on, so it gave me something I could keep returning to. Because I think it would have been very difficult for me to start completely from scratch after The Girl on the Train was published. As for the multiple points of view, it was something I decided as I started writing the book. So I started with, I think, 3 characters. But as I started telling the story, I realized that the reader really needed to hear from all these different characters. In this book, we have this town full of people who are all keeping secrets for one reason or another. And in order for the reader to be privy to those secrets, I felt they needed to hear from a whole chorus of voices. And I actually liked building up that chorus of voices. And I felt that it would give the reader an opportunity to hear from everyone and to decide who they wanted to trust and who they believed and who they had their confidence in. It was a risk. It was an ambitious way of telling the story. Not everyone thinks it worked, but I think it was worth doing. I don't think I do write in cinematic terms. I'm not picturing the story becoming a film. I know there are aspects of this book that are very cinematic, as there were of The Girl on the Train, the landscape, and there are certain scenes which you can picture. But it's not the way I write. I don't really think in terms of cinematic things. I watched it. I watched it 3 times, I think. I did like the movie. I actually thought they did a really great job of staying faithful to the heart of the story. I know there were changes, most notably the change in location. But I think they stayed faithful to the darkness at the heart of the story and the grittiness and the ugliness of Rachel's alcoholism. I think Emily Blunt was fantastic as Rachel. I think she did a really great job at bringing all that sort of shame and self-loathing out onto the screen. So yeah, I was happy with it. I know lots of readers were cross because it was in New York and not London. But, it's Hollywood and things are going to change. You have to accept that the book is the book and the film is the film, and it's a different interpretation of the same work.